Good morning and welcome to the Speakeasy's midweek touch point. And I have an amazing guest here with me. I have Lisa Yvette Jones, motivational speaker, here in the studio this morning. And good morning to you, Lisa. How are you?
Good morning, Constance. I am doing wonderful. And good morning to your audience. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. And so
Thank
today, what we're doing here at the midweek touch point, this is a platform that we're doing to provide inspiration and encouragement to the listening audience. There's so much going on in our world today. And I just feel that strong need where people need some reassurance,
Yes.
some encouragement.
Yes.
So, Lisa, I'm going to reach out to you. What words of encouragement could you provide this morning for our listening audience?
One of the things that, and thank you so very much again for this wonderful opportunity. I definitely do not take it for granted to be before you and your audience. One of the things that has been resonating so with me, and something that I spoke about on, at my job as well recently, when they were talking about all the trauma and the different things that people are going through right now. And I told people, I said, take some time to slow down. You are going to have to slow down for a moment, not only for yourself and to really check in with you and all the things that are going on with you. If you're feeling a certain way, not ignoring that, but check in with that and say, why am I feeling this way? Or why has my mood shifted? And if it's shifted for, sad reasons or what have you, then check in with that. Don't ignore it. Okay. And I always tell people too, don't be afraid to ask for help, or don't be afraid to let people know that today isn't a good day. So, one of the things that I was sharing with them is, we talk about being human, and we always say this word, human being. But I said, I want you to slow down at that word being. I said, listen to that. I said, being means just in the state of where you are and being unapologetic about it. So right now, if I am being happy, okay, wonderful. Rejoice and join in there with me. But if I'm being sad, or if I'm being remorseful, or right now if I'm being unforgiving, this is something for me to take notice of, but it's also something I tell other people. We shouldn't have to seek permission for being human. We shouldn't have to seek permission for who we are. We should be able to be who we are, but then, allow others, opportunity to then come and sit with us if they want to in that and help us. And now I'm not saying, the whole thing, misery loves company. But what I am saying is, I see so many people trying to mask how they're
Mm.
feeling. They're trying to mask how they're doing. And they're asking almost like permission, can I please be vulnerable? And what I am saying to people is, check in with folk and allow them to be vulnerable. Check in with folk and ask them, how are you doing? And I mean, how are you doing? And then take some time to not try to fix them. Don't try to fix them. I want you to take some time to listen to what they have to say. You know what? The word listen and silent have the exact same letters. And I believe that was for a reason, Constance.
Wow.
I
Wow.
believe that was for a reason. Listen and silent, the
Wow.
exact same letters, because sometimes people just want to know that you care. And let me tell you how that became very prevalent with me. I, as a counselor too, I'm a leadership coach, but then as a counselor and minister, I was at the bedside of someone who attempted to take their life. And they said, I just don't feel like I have anyone. Because when they are not feeling their best, you know what people are saying to them? Oh, girl, please, you'll get over it. Oh, girl, please, life just happens. And they're not giving people to be. They're not giving people that space to be. They're quickly dismissing it. Now, people can be doing that for a myriad of reasons, because a lot of people don't know how to deal with their own things, their own stuff, and then to deal with other people's as well. So that's their way to get out of it. And she said, if someone had just showed that they cared, and she said, and
Wow.
here you are at my bedside. She said, and I said, yes, because I care. She said, thank you. She said, thank you for asking me how I feel. Thank you for not judging me. These are all the things. So I'm saying, okay, people are judging folks. People are not asking others how they feel and mean it. So those are some of the things that, I'll stop talking right now in case you want to get in there too. And, just say, but those are some of the things I've been dealing with lately, and just really helping people to understand that.
And it's amazing that you say that because people need to be aware that it's okay not to be okay.
That's my other saying. You have
You
said
know,
it. It's
there's
okay to not
nothing
be
wrong
okay.
with that. We're none of us are 100% on our A game
Right.
all the
Right.
time. Things happen in life. Life throws us all kind of curveballs. We lose loved ones. We go through things, and so those things can make us feel a certain kind of way, and it's okay.
It's
But the
okay.
beauty of it is, once we get to that place and space,
Yes.
we can't stay there.
We can't, and
We
we
can't.
can't, and that's the thing that will help community. Having
Yes.
community around you will help you to do that. And then sometimes people just don't know what to say. And again, I'll tell people, but if you give them space, if you give that person space and you just be quiet, it's okay. And then you can ask someone, how can I be of support to you? How do I know when you want to talk and when you don't want to talk? So I heard something that was just amazing on the way to work today, because I allow my car, my driving time, to be my automobile on wheels. Okay. My automobile university. I'm sorry, automobile
Okay.
university
I like
on
that.
wheels. Okay. It has an automobile on wheels. It better be, right? But my automobile university. And one of the things that, the psychologist had written in, her book, was a story of a person who was going through grief. And grief is so hard. Oh, it's so hard. Our country right now, we're grieving for all the losses, and Buffalo and Uvalde. We're so hurt for other people's hurt. And so it brings up a lot of emotion in us when, for the things that we have been grieving and going through. So when things like this happen, it's really hard. But then she gave an example of someone who they did not want to be bothered, okay, all the time. But just to know that someone cared, they were appreciative of it. So what they did was they came up with a text messaging type system. And what they did was, the person who was grieving said, if you would just just respond back with you could just say, hi, how are you doing? Just wanted to know if you want some company or if you needed anything. The person then will respond back with an asterisk, the star. So the
Hmm.
asterisk sign, that let them know, I'm doing fine. No, I don't want to talk. Just a simple
Wow.
asterisk, just a simple asterisk sign, and said, I acknowledge that you are checking in on me, and I am doing fine. And no, at this time, I do not want to talk. The asterisk sign was saying all of that, because that's the code that they worked out. So I'm saying to others, there may be some codes that you have to work out. Another person said that they knew that the person loved a certain type of coffee from a particular outlet. So what they would do is just check, they text them and said, I'm just checking to see if you home. I'm going to drop something off. And they would leave that coffee on their doorstep on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays,
Wow.
and not communicate with them, not talk with them. But it made the difference in the world to the receiver, that someone cared enough to do that. It doesn't take much. A lot of times we think we have to fix people. We have to, go in there and I'm going to be the savior and I'm going to rescue people.
Yes.
And another thing the psychologist said too was, the people who were aggrieved, or the people who were grieving, or the people who were going through whatever the situation was, they said, I felt like I had to acknowledge the fact that what they were doing for me was, like they were doing a good job in trying to comfort me. And that's where I felt like it was more of a burden on me to be with someone because they kept trying to fix me, that I had to keep assuring them, oh, you're doing a great job. No, what you just said was wonderful. What you just said was great. Sometimes silence says so much, and we're just sometimes afraid of silence, but we have to be okay with being silent. It's okay
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
we're listening.
Exactly. And silence can be very powerful.
Powerful. Can I share
Very
an
powerful.
experience with me where silence became powerful for me? My doctor I was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer back in 2009. No symptoms. So that's the word for every woman. Still get your pap smears and get checked every year. I had absolutely no symptoms and I was already in stage 3. Well,
Mm,
after the two pathological reports and then the scheduling for the surgery, my primary care physician, aside from the gynecologic oncologist, made an appointment for me to come into her office. And I sat up on the table while she sat in her little stool, and she reached her hand out to me and just put her hand on top of mine. And she sat there in complete silence. She didn't say anything. And it was so surreal to me that it gave me an opportunity to really gather my thoughts about everything that was going on, about what has just, I was just diagnosed with, this deadly disease. I'm scheduled for surgery. And I then was thinking about her. And I looked at her because she was from another country, but, naturalized citizen here in the United States. And then I looked at her and I said, from where you come from, I said, how many women are dying from this disease with no symptoms? Every single year. She said, how about every single second?
oh, wow.
That's the first time she spoke. And then she said, I have access to the best of healthcare. I have access to the best of healthcare. And here I am sitting here in your office, had no symptoms of this. And then I said, but then I think about the people who are in remote villages where you came from, who don't have access to the modern things of running water, clean water, medical facilities. How many are dying? She said, more than you and I will ever be able to count.
Oh, wow.
And at that moment, I stood up and I jumped off her table. I said, enough. I said, you know what? I may not be able to get to the women that came from your country, but I can do something here. I am going to become an advocate for early detection. I am going to call the American Cancer Society. I am going to sign up and be an ambassador for them. And I am going to speak on behalf and let women know you must get yourself checked. But all of that came in her silence.
Wow.
She made an appointment with me, okay? And all she did was pull up her chair and put her hand on top of mine and just sat
Wow.
there in silence. And that's when I really understood the power of just being present for a
Yes.
person
That's
and
all
not
that's needed
saying,
sometimes. Yeah, that's all that's needed. Just there.
just being present.
Just your presence. You
Mhm.
don't have to say a word.
You don't.
Just be there. Show
Be
that sign of support. Yes.
yes.
Yes. So, Michelle, what words or final thoughts as far as in lieu of what is going on around us? We have, the situation in the Ukraine is still ongoing.
Yes.
We still have issues here in our country with homelessness, and the
Yes.
gasoline prices are, astronomical. Housing costs are rising and people can't afford housing, and there's so much going on. And then the school shootings,
Yes.
you know, what guidance can you offer to our listening audience this morning just to
This is what I'm going to
inspire and encourage?
thank you. This is what I'm going to tell people. I want you to step away from social media long enough to realize that that can be so superficial. And I want you to pick up the phone or make a phone call and check in on someone. Even for your coworkers and those that you work with, if you hear a person say good morning and it's not the usual good morning that they normally give, I want you to stop and take a moment and say, are you okay? That was a different good morning. I'm hearing something a little differently. So I call that the check in, the slow down and check in. If you will just learn to do that with people, check in with some people and ask them, I really need to know how you're doing. How can I support you? And this is another thing that I want people to know too. Self care is not selfish, self care is necessary. I want you to become so unapologetic about filling your cup and having it overflow, but not serving people until you are in the overflow, because your full cup is for you. Your full cup has nothing to do with anyone else. And if your cup is not full, it is going to be hard to really serve anyone else. So as you have that overflow, know that that's the reservoir you can serve people from. Know that that's the place where then you can then, help others out. But let me tell you, I want you to now know that I am giving you permission to stop serving from your empty cup. Fill your cup to the full and serve everyone else from your overflow. And know that self care for you is never selfish, it is always necessary. That's what I would leave with people. I would also say, if you are a person who believe in the power and the words and the worth of prayer, start your day in prayer, start your day in meditation, and start your day in the silence of just being and being present with you and being present with God, and knowing that then your day will be directed in the way that it should go. I hope that has encouraged and inspired and empowered someone.
Amen. Amen.
And
So,
now I'm having my little private summer here, so I'm gonna get my
okay,
little
that's
fan.
okay. That's okay. Pull that fan out. That's self care too. So, where or how can the listening audience find you,
They can
Lisa
find
Yvette
me.
Jones?
Yes, I'm on social media. I'm on, I am on Clubhouse. I don't have my own Clubhouse room, but I'm Facebook, Instagram. I have YouTube channel, and my full name, Lisa Lisa Yvette Yvette Jones, and then my website for my company, I Care Leadership, is LisaYvetteJones.com. They can also purchase my books because I am a fourth time author, actually now fifth, because we're just launching our new book, the advertisement for my new book today. And, so a three-time best-selling author as well. So I love it. I love sharing with people. I love being able to encourage, to inspire, and to empower. But here's the thing. I am also about you making sure that you check in first with yourself and knowing that you matter.
All right. Well, Lisa, I want to thank you so much. I want to congratulate you on the new book venture.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think that is just so exciting. I want you to continue to do what you do,
Thank
motivating
you.
others and developing others. And we here at the Speakeasy, thank you so much for sharing that with us this morning and sharing of your time and pouring into us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I am so honored. And, I watch you and I watch the wonderful things that you're doing. And I said, I am so thankful to have, met you and then have been, connected with you in this way. So thank you so very much.
Yes, and I thank you. So until the next time here on the Speakeasy, may God keep you safe, wrapped safely in his arms, and guide you and protect you. Until the next time here at the Speakeasy, have a good day and be blessed.